Fertilizer prices are soaring and the pressure is on. In India, the government is taking a hard stand against phosphate prices as global supply tightens and Chinese exports falter. The outcome of the showdown could send shockwaves through global markets. And in North America, nitrogen supplies are in crisis. UAN nearly impossible to find, and urea prices are skyrocketing with no relief in sight. Farmers are also forking out far more than usual, and if global markets don't shift soon, it's going to be a rough ride ahead. I'm Johanna Bota, and joining me remotely is StoneX's Vice President of Fertilizer, Josh Linville. Josh, thank you for joining us remotely. So nice to have you here.
Absolutely.
So let's start with the Indian government and what they are pushing back against. Can you explain a little bit more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So for those who might not know, India handles their fertilizer a little bit differently in that farmers there do not see global price volatility. They have a flat price that's set by the government. Well, the global price has been much higher than what the farmers are paying. So the government subsidizes that difference so the importers can bring product in. Well, the global phosphate market has been in trouble. Chinese export remain very low. The world continues to see India behind on stockpiles and needing to rebuild. And so price has been going higher. We saw it hit 640s to in late March. And then by the time we started to get in April, that jumped to 650, 660, 670, up to 700. And all of a sudden a shock purchase at $750 a CFR. The Indian government said that's enough. We are tired of paying this massive subsidy. We are tired of paying these massive prices to get these tons coming in. We won't do it. And they set a limit and said, listen, we are not going to support anything over $675. Now the market's at a crossroads. It's got to figure out, global manufacturers, are they going to take that stance of, hey, we don't have very much product. This is our price. It's higher than that. Pay it or walk on down the road. Or will they give in and say, you know what, 675, that's a pretty good net back. Let's not rock the boat as we go into the summertime. Let's go ahead and make that sale. That decision is going to say a lot of what happens this summer.
Right. So there are two potential outcomes, and it depends on who wins the argument. Walk me through both of them. If India wins and they do lower the prices, what happens?
I think we stay steady. I think that the world will see that and say, okay, you just decided 675 to India is a fine price. You are willing to sell that price. And if you're willing to sell them, you should be willing to sell me the exact same price. And I think we stay fairly steady. Unfortunately, that steady is still a very high price, but it does stay steady. However, India isn't backed into a corner. You think about the largest voting bloc in India, it's farmers. They don't want to disrupt those people. They don't want to upset those people. If the Indian government and the importers give in and start paying the higher prices, all bets are off.
Okay, let's move to North American nitrogen fertilizer market now, which is also in crisis mode. You are just here to give me all the bad news today. Break it down for me. What are we seeing?
Yeah, so last week we talked about UAN. We talked about the tight supplies, difficult to find. That has not improved. Most of the people that we talk to are sitting there saying, listen, aside from a few truckloads here and there because of switching, because maybe they just found a few loads that they can actually sell, for the most part, decent supplies for shipping, you can't find anything before the month of June. And some people say now July. Right. So this has been an unprecedented spring from a fertilizer standpoint. This is a situation we've always talked about. It said under the right circumstances, under the right perfect storm of events, we could have this happen. Unfortunately, spring 2025 is that year that it finally happens. And not only is it affecting your UAN market, now it's starting to drag urea up with it.
All right. Well, and the bad news continue. Now we go back to phosphate, but this time in North America, where the prices of DAP, for example, are very expensive now compared to historical norms. What is causing that change? Just tell us what's happening. I mean, it's a lot of it is, again, what we've already discussed, but can you delve a little deeper?
Yeah, part of it has to do with the world market. As long as the world market is going to be high priced, North America is not an island. We participate in the global market, and we always sit there and tell our people, you have to watch the world. What happens with the world happens here at home. And that's exactly what's happening. With the India-China situation, global prices are supported, and so are ours. However, when you start to look at it, yes, historically speaking, looking at the flat price, values are very high. But another way that we look at it is in terms of grain values. We talk about it from, with fertilizer being the input, grains being the output, we look at that relationship. And right now, when you look at how many bushels of corn, for example, farmers are spending per 1 ton of DAP used or MAP used, it is the second worst, the second highest ratio value that we've seen. The only time it was worse was during the first super cycle in 2008.
So what will happen then if global phosphate supply stays tight through the summer?
Unfortunately, we typically, as we start to move into that, late May, June, July, August period, we see the annual price lows. It's a period when nobody wants to buy anything. It's the longest period between demands. So prices tend to fall. That may not happen this year. When you look at it, every single thing on the surface tells you, oh, prices have to come down. Nobody's going to buy this. And I really think the market's going to push back on these high values when it comes time to take a look at them. Unfortunately, if the world situation is as it is, where China, the world's largest exporters, pulled significantly lower than what they normally do, and India, the biggest buyer, continues to try and rebuild stockpiles. The question is, why do world prices have to change? And if world prices don't change, why do North America values need to change this summer?
And last question, is there anything that could help with the prices right now? Say, the weather.
I'll tell you what, North America could use a break.
Yeah.
We have not had a widespread rain event so far that when those come through, it gives farmers a chance to rest, to fix equipment. It gives retailers a chance to put resupplies back in place. It gives the market a chance to breathe and kind of take stock of what's happened. If we could get that kind of event, take urea, for example, we're up almost $100 a short ton USD using New Orleans, Louisiana last week. That's a massive increase.
Yeah.
That is that's up, 25, 30%. And so if we could just get this little bit of a break, that would give everybody kind of a chance to calm down, look at it, try and put some sense to it. I don't know that we'd see prices down significantly, but it couldn't hurt.
And is this a situation, I know I said last question, but it's not the last question. Is this a situation you've ever seen before?
No, the UAN especially. I have never seen this situation. I have asked some folks in the industry who have been around longer with more years of experience, and everybody I've talked to so far has never seen it. We have always theorized about it. We've always talked about, boy, if X, Y, Z, and ABC all came together to happen at the same time, this could happen, but we've never seen this.
Okay. Thank you, Josh. And thank you for watching. For more financial content like this, please like and subscribe to our channel. See you later.